All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracies related to Upscale Love for You.
Listen, we're going to pause.
Okay, all right. Welcome, everyone. And tonight, hold on, I'm not even being seen. Here I am. Where are you? Here I am. That's that song my grandbaby sang. Da 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 da. Okay, so welcome, everyone. I am yours truly, Dr. Fabulous. A little under the weather, but I am here. I am back from celebrating that great milestone from the birthday gala. I'm going to turn it over so that everyone can introduce themselves. Come on, Lady T, and introduce yourself.
Well, it's your one and only Lady T coming live from the 305. I want to thank everyone for coming out last weekend, hanging out with us. We had a ball. And tonight's show, we are going to spice it up just a little bit. So, little Bo, I'm going to slide it on over to you.
Thank you so much for that, Lady T. It's yours truly, Lil Bo P, aka Mr. Follow My Smoke. Thank you for coming on with us tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you here with the Upscale Love for You crew, and we greatly appreciate it. Follow my smoke and follow my praise. Let's go, DFG.
Sassy, informal.
Place to be, looking like a snack. So you better start attack, ladies. I'm the man. I'm the DFG in a place to be again from the 571, and I'm having fun. I'm gonna change it up, and I'm gonna finish with my stuff. The man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. Passing it over to you. Back to you, Doc.
Wait, Doc. Now, Dr. Feelgood, can I have my snack pack?
Not the snack pack.
I give you a smack and smack me back.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, we had so much fun in the 305. I want to thank each and every one of you that came out, that helped me to celebrate my milestone. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, it wouldn't have been made possible without, and I have to give them a live shout out to the Real Brownstone Experience, because they were absolutely fabulous. That's none other than Stephen Leon Brown and Michelle Grant. When I tell you, they had everything on point, the food, the room, it was just beautiful. And I would like to give a special thank you to my one and only right hand, left foot, you name it, she's all that. The one and only Lady T. She helped me get dressed. She was just there for me on every hand. She was my personal bouncer. I mean, she just did it all. And without her, I probably would have been running late, y'all, but she had me on time for everything, every event. She is such an organized individual. And, I'm really not that person. But every event from Thursday on up to Sunday night, she had me on time. So let me get back on track. Upscale love.
Thank you, Dr.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I just need to say this: the Upscale Love for You Tantalizing Talk podcast disclaimer. All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based upon their own information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracies is related to Upscale Love for You. So, what it says in a nutshell, whatever you say is coming from you. It has nothing to do with Upscale Love for You. Hey, Bruce, welcome back. I didn't see you in Miami, honey. What
Bruce said he had to
happened?
get that rent paid last time he was on here,
Yeah,
Doc.
he was here getting that rent paid last time. But welcome, welcome. You're always welcome. And so tonight, I'm a little frazzled. I'm a little frazzled. The topic for tonight is, and Dr. Feelgood, you can jump on in here with the second half of the topic because my mind is like all over the place. But I'm gonna tell y'all what it is in just a few minutes. I'm gonna find it. It is something like, are the men to the women? Are the men as sassy as you are? And when I looked up the word sassy, I was like, I pray not, because I don't want my man to be as sassy as me. It says sassy's definition means it is lively, bold, and full of spirit. And when I think of that, I think of individuals that's digging the same individual. So I'm gonna say, I pray that the next man God send to me, please don't let him be sassy, because I don't think I could deal with a sassy man, because I'm too much of pizzazz myself. And so, with that being said, I'm gonna slide it right on over. What's the second part of the subject, Dr. Feelgood? It was that, and
Was says,
our
are women feminine in 2024? Today you have a lot, you know, being a woman is, with all these trans things going on, and not nothing against that community. I will make that perfectly clear. If that's what you are, that's what you are. But femininity is something that you know what it is when you see it. You can't
mm,
always you can't always explain it, but you know what it is when you see it. And are today's women in 2024, especially the younger ones, are they do they guys, when you see the average woman, is she does she look feminine? Does she act feminine? Does she carry herself in a feminine way? That's the second part of this. So that's what I want y'all to think about.
okay. Now,
Put it in the
when
chat,
I
Lady T. Put the questions in the chat, Lady T.
Oh, okay, Lady T, you got that. But when I see now, now I am that woman for you. I love, love, love to wear athletic gear with a baseball cap, because that's like, remember how Janet Jackson, that was her signature, a baseball cap? Well, that's my signature too. And if I could get away with it, I would wear a baseball cap to work every day, because I got every kind with, how they say, rhinestones, you name it, I got it. But even when I do wear that, I know I carry myself with such appeal as a woman. They know I'm not trying to thug it out. They know that that's just who I am, and that's part of my mm, I'll say my portfolio, my repertoire. I just love a baseball cap. So I would say that women can be feminine regardless of what they wear. You just got to know how to make it sassy and jazzy it up. Now, when it comes to the question about men being sassy, when I hear the word sassy, I just think sassy is like with them strutting with a twist. That's what I automatically think of. Maybe I'm wrong to have that thought in mind, but when I hear the word sassy, I think of a person kind of with a little twist or a skip. So I'm gonna turn this over to you, little Bo P. So you tell me your thoughts behind that.
Listen. I grew up on the rough side of the mountain. I grew up with my father, and when no well, you can play with dolls, when no desire to play with none, and then like that. Now, but it's like how sometimes in this age, it like let kids do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? If a little boy want to play with dolls. Some parents are okay with that kind of stuff, right? But how I grew up, man, my daddy was a manly man, and that's the only thing I could come out being, growing up is a manly man, So when no broke wrist, walking around with no broke wrist and all that kind of stuff, when no twitching and switching when you walk and smacking your teeth and stuff like that. And I think it goes to, for not all, remember the disclaimer, the opinions expressed belong to
The person who's
I'm expressing
expressing.
belongs to me, that um there's a lot of single mothers raising children, and a lot of single mothers are raising young boys. And so I think naturally they have them around other women, or a lot of women. They got a lot of, a single mom got a lot of female friends, maybe a lot of sisters, aunts, and that young boy inherits kind of automatically those traits as a woman, because as a child you tend to mimic your parents. Like me, I mimicked my father. Somebody came to the door one night and he like, "Here, go to the door. What you gonna do if I ain't here? You the man of the house." I'm the only other. My dad, I had a lot of sisters, 6 sisters. He like, "You gonna send them to the door? Go to the door." So I go to the door. "Who is it?" "Hey, I'm trying to get some." "Hey, don't come to my damn door that time of the morning." And my dad, he's
Trying to
standing up like,
get some.
he
Get
trying to
some
get
of
some,
what?
he trying to get something. He trying to get something.
Oh, I thought he said
Retwin the
trying.
live, educator.
Nah,
Retwin the
he get he would have got something all right, but nah, he trying to get something, you know what I'm saying? So it
Oh,
was like 1:30 in the morning, he fiending, he did, the dude fiending. So my daddy came to, he's standing there watching me. I'll try to make my voice deep, trying to sound like my daddy, and then it just, he's standing there looking at me proud. Dad opened up the door and smacked the piss out of the dude for coming to the house at that time of the morning, because he fiending for a hit. You know what I'm saying?
oh my
But
goodness.
so I was mimicking my father. So growing up, a lot of things that I did, I was mimicking my father. Even today, at 41 years old, I mimic a lot of things that I saw my father, do. Had a
Okay.
little situation Saturday. Dude jump out the car on me. Dude, jump out the car, man. I ain't seen this individual in 2 years. Last time I saw him, he wanted to shake hands. 2 years later, I seen him. He jumped out the car and got smoked, but I ain't the one to have smoke with, because I don't play. I get that from my father. So I give those examples to say, if a young man is around women and she don't have him around men that he can mimic, it's a good chance that he's going to mimic those ways of a woman.
Well, let me say this. Let me ask this question, because it's a new fad. Now we talking about sassy, and I don't think you can get no sassier than this. An individual approached me and he was trying to give me conversation. Okay, I'm listening to the individual, and I happened to look down at his feet, and he had his toenails polished. And I was like, oh my goodness, his toenails was polished black. So to the men on here, and they say this is a fad, but the celebrity said that Shaq paid over $1,200 to have his feet done and had different colored toenail polish on each toenail. That was just a
Jack had to
straight.
go to Earl Shide because he got like a size 55 foot.
Oh, well, I don't know. But that was such a turnoff to me. He was a well um groomed individual. But when I looked down and I saw that, I couldn't get past the mere fact that he had his toenails polished. And just the other day, a young lady was at the nail spa and she wanted her boyfriend to get his toenails polished pink as well as his fingernails. So, what do you have to say about that? That's just over the board for me for being sassy. That's just maybe because of my age. I can't get down with it, but they say this is the growing fast. So, to my men on the board this evening, I'm sorry, something is in my eye, got to itch it. because I sure can't see you if I don't. But to the men on the board, how do you all feel about the polishing of the nails, the toenails? I know men go and get pedicures and manicures, but majority of the time you go with a clear or a matte clear, not even the shiny clear. But I want to hear your thoughts about that. I'm gonna call on old Bruce. Maybe this will help him get some more rent money. Come on, Bruce.
I think that I don't know what they call this generation of kids now in their 20s. I think but I know they call it binary. I know in my line of work, you see them come in there and they call it binary. They, they whatever they call it, unisex, whatever they call it. As for me, and I know for my son, his friends, that wasn't the case. But I think that what we're seeing is that these young brothers in their 20s, 25, 30, they're being influenced by the sisters that they're with. And they're doing whatever they're gonna do to get what they're gonna get. For me, it's not something that I would promote for my kids or any of the young brothers that I deal with. But I know that the whole black toenails and whatever they call that shit, finger thing, they call it binary. That means that they'll talk to anybody. So the cat you ran into probably was what they call binary.
No.
But if you see a kid and his girlfriend say, "Get your toenails pink," if he dumb enough to do it, he's
Yeah,
just trying.
he was sitting right there, and the young lady was getting ready to start polishing. But I didn't want to be nosy and sit and wait to see the finished product. But to even think to say that you want your male companion to wear his fingernails pink, what are you doing now? Matching? I just thought that was a little different for me as a grown woman to want my companion to wear his nails the same color as mine.
Hold
I'm
on,
not wearing
dog. So
match. I'm not wearing matching clothes.
She asked him to paint his nails the same color.
No, she didn't ask him. She told the young lady that was doing the nails that's the color she wanted his nails done, his feet and his fingers. And he didn't disagree.
Hell to the no. Oh, hell to the I know. Listen, ain't nobody gonna never try me up like that right there. Yeah, paint here's the same color as mine. Now I'm all for getting your manicure, pedicure to keep yourself up. But you ain't putting no color on here. You ain't putting no clear coat. You ain't doing all that. Get them cuticles, and them hangnails or whatever. And then we moving on. You know what I'm saying? Get them feet, get them legs, get my leg, rub them calves with that little pink lotion, that little pink moisturizer lotion that they be having using on your leg.
That don't work.
It ain't got no kind of moisturizer in it, but it sure feels good when them little hands be sliding up and down them legs. You can do that. We can have matching outfits, matching beanies. You know what I'm saying?
Not matching fingernail.
If you got color on yours, that's a for me. We ain't matching a damn thing when it comes to no color. Ain't no way. See, all that spicy and sassy stuff, right? It comes from young boys being around. That's one reason I feel like it comes from young boys being raised.
But this was a whole grown man. He had to be at least in his 40s.
But I'm saying he could have been raised by a woman for him to be like because I tell him, don't even play with me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe
like
he's just like his father.
You know what I'm saying? Like he might have seen it, right? But then too, something else that I noticed, a lot of young men don't have local mentors, right? That's why it's important for men like myself, men like DFG, and these kind of men to get out and mentor these young boys because they look up to celebrities, and celebrities basically do what they told to do. Just like right now with all the stuff that's out with P. Diddy. And when you go back and you listen at some of the things that he said in songs that we were rapping in the late 90s, and you like, damn, now you listen to it, take that. You hear certain things, ad libs that he was saying in his songs. And these are the men that young men looked up to.
Okay,
Lil
well,
Baby.
you're correct, because that's just like when I speak about the nail thing and all that. When they said that Shaq, like Dr. Feelgood said, as large as his feet is, he shouldn't want nothing on it but a shoe. But he said he paid $1,200 to get his done, and I was like, "Woo, baby, you could have
I
gave me that
told you he had to
1,200."
go. He had to go to Earl Shop to get them things done.
I don't know where he went, but if you Google it, you can pull it up. He had each one of them a different color, and I was like, "Oh, now going on, brother Shaq." But anyway, to
That's
my
the agenda,
girl,
though. That's the agenda, Doc.
that's the agenda.
There's an agenda to feminize the black man.
Mm.
Strong black men, manly, they fear those kind of men, black men, worse than they do a black man with a gun. So when you feminize the man, the black man, look on social media. The agenda is to turn black men and black women away from one another. All you see is black men and black women tearing each other down. If you scroll down social media, you guaranteed to see it 7 out of 10 posts, if not more than that. All you see, oh man, he ain't got this. Then the men shooting back, and then it's a seesaw between African American men and African American women, because they're trying to separate each other so the black race don't continue to grow. So it's bigger than just being sassy. So you look on one way they do it, they put commercials on TV. That tries to make people comfortable. When you see it on TV, Tide commercials. Oh, okay, you see two men with a child, family, washing clothes, popcorn commercials, two women sitting on there with children, all on the sofa, hugged up. They're trying to make you comfortable. They set their agenda by things you see and the things that you hear.
Gotcha. Okay, Lady T, you got your hand up, but we're gonna come back to this because I know we said, or Leanne said, that she had a friend and he had a man bag. And that's another thing I want to touch on. She say it depends on who the man is, how they carry that man bag. But we're gonna get back into that. Come on, Lady T.
The problem I have is the world. I wouldn't blame too much on the single parents or single fathers, because even down to Disney, they have sexual content hidden, on their shows. They have, like, movies. Movies, all you see now is gay movies. I have nothing against it. If that's what you like, that's you. Enjoy it, have fun, do what you do. But just don't bring it over here to me. Now, the problem I have with children and parents, you have parents who's allowing a 5-year-old or 4-year-old to put on a dress and say, oh, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. And then when they get about 8 or 9, they want to do a sex change, or they feel like, oh, I'm not a boy. You look like a boy. You were born a boy. So now, why aren't you a boy? But the parents is agreeing that, okay, we can change them over to a girl. So I think the parents is just as messed up as the child. And that's where the mental issues come in. At some point in time, we cannot go with the world. We just have to be firm and say, no,
Preach,
this
Lady
is what
T,
it
preach.
is.
Preach, Lady T.
Do
You
I
preach
get $20?
right, Lady T.
She gonna get more than $2 tonight.
Ooh, you better go. Come on, Lady T. Come on, preach. Give us that word.
So at some point, as a parent, like, I have 3 children. I have one, when those girls were wearing hoodies and what is it, baggy clothes and stuff, my daughter wanted to jump into the fad. And I was like, oh no, you're not, sister. You cannot bring a hoodie in my house. And if you do, it better have a zipper and it better have pink purple or some kind of female color. And as far as baggy clothes, we're not doing that either.
So,
So
Lady
at
T,
some
I got a
point as a
question for you.
parent,
I got a
what?
question for you.
Go
Aaliyah.
ahead.
Aaliyah was tomboyish, but she was a beautiful young lady. So if you got a beautiful daughter and she want to dress semi-tomboyish, that's a no for you.
Are you saying Aaliyah, the singer that's dead?
Aaliyah, the singer, she was beautiful.
But she wore crop tops though. She did wear like the fatigue type pants, but crop top.
Right, she feminized it. Yes, she did.
Right.
That's
right.
what I'm saying. If she feminized
she
it,
presented herself, she got caught up in that lifestyle of, I think one of them raped her or something. I'm not quite sure who it was. And it goes back to presenting yourself.
Aura. She was down with Aura.
Who?
Aura
Who
Kelly.
was Aura? Oh, R. Kelly? Oh, well. But anyway, you just have to be mindful of how you raise your children. You cannot be their friend. You have to be their parent. And you have to set rules. And when they get past puberty and they feel like, oh, I don't want to be a girl, I'll be a boy, then okay, fine. Pray about it and then deal with it. But as long as you're in my house under my rules, you're gonna follow with whatever God, created you as. So I don't know. I just think we as parents need to be a little bit more firmer.
So I'm gonna come behind you with what you just said, Lady T, because Proverbs 14:12 says there's a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death, right? So there are a lot of things, and this is for the believers, right? That the world is saying is okay. You know what I'm saying? Well, same-sex marriages, was okay, where just to live any kind of way, basically. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes back to, people looking up to celebrities. And now, like, everything we was told what was done in the dark will come to the light. Now a lot of things are being exposed, right? In Hollywood. I saw a video about 2 days ago with Justin Bieber, and some of the things and the ways that these adults, one of the ladies, he was getting an award, grown woman, he was a child, grabbed him, kissed him, felt him up, freaked him down in front of the world, and people laughed. You know what I'm saying? People laughed at it. Other times he was in interviews, people would make sexual comments to him, and then but it's a kid, and they doing it in front of our eyes, and it's like now it's coming out. The guy over Nickelodeon, the Subway guy, that happened some years ago with the Subway guy, R. Kelly, Puffy.
What happened to the Subway guy? The man that lost all the weight with the sandwiches?
He in jail for
in jail for touching kids.
Yeah, he a
oh
pervert.
My Jesus. He can't get no more Subway sandwiches.
He can't keep his hand to himself. The Subway meat wasn't good enough for him.
Ooh, y'all stop it now.
He
stop
couldn't keep his hand to himself. That's why he's in prison.
Jared, I'm telling you, like he was someone right about that. See,
he
looked. I bet
like
you he getting 12 inches now.
Listen.
Hey, y'all something else.
And then Subway ain't even giving you 12. Subway ain't even giving you 12 inches. They really giving you 10. That ain't no 12 inches.
And then 6 inches or 4 inches.
A 4 inch. I tell them, hey baby, you're gonna have to cut that bread a little bit bigger for me to get, pay $7 for that damn half of sandwich.
Hey, Bo, he ain't getting no bread. He just getting meat, putting them buns.
Getting them meatballs.
Lord have mercy, y'all. Something else. I tell you.
But
I don't know what to say. It was someone's hand up. I'm
That's
sorry,
that
and they took
meatball
it down.
sub low,
Casey,
low toasted.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
That meatball sub toasted with
Hush your mouth.
mozzarella cheese.
Casey, can you hear me? Welcome, Casey. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I always like to talk to Casey because she and her husband, they just have that connection. And I want to know from you, Casey, if your husband, and he just told you he was going to the salon and he was going to get those nails polished, what would be your response? But I shouldn't even ask that question because I know your husband's not going to do that from the jump.
I'm gonna let him answer it for you, baby. I'm at the nail salon. And I want you to get some pink nails to match mine.
So what?
I'm at the nail salon. I want you to get some pink nails to match mine.
Don't play with me.
Okay, I understood that. I understood the assignment. So that is definitely what I'm thinking. But like I said, it's a new day, a new age, and people do what they feel, it's in your household, that's what you're doing. More power to you. I
In the chat,
want
Doc, we got somebody wrote in the chat.
okay, I can't see.
Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
That's
Simply
right. You
means
better get that mind right.
you can't follow the ways of this world. And because we see so much and hear so much in this era and in this age, it is so important that every day, like, we kill our flesh. Basically,
you better preach
and renew our minds daily, because
Dorothy say you better preach.
hey, and I will, Dorothy. Don't make me go get my sweat rag.
But you all know what?
That sweat rag, I go in.
Even for me as a woman, I don't want to be competing with my husband. Like, I want all the attention. Why do you want your husband to look like you? I don't understand that. I want the attention. I don't need him to be in all, because that's what it's going to create is attention. When you asking him to put color on his nails and all this stuff, no, that's crazy.
Well,
I wouldn't even want a man of mine in no color. So what does that say about her for her to even want him in pink nail polish? I don't get that. Why?
Well, she was a young lady. So, I guess I say that was her mind control over him, because she had to have some type of control, mind control, cooch control, something control.
But where is his manhood? Because
yeah.
Even if I was a man, for a woman to tell me to put pink nail polish on, you heard what my husband said. I was in the room when we first started, and when you called my name, I walked around because I know how he feels when it comes to all of this. He got so many opinions, and he's not afraid to voice those opinions when it comes to your sexuality and things like that. He's 100% against all of it, and he'll tell anybody that, and especially as a preacher. You know what I mean? So,
and I understand that, and I was told, and
be afraid to stand up right for right, because our voices matter too, and it's like the world is seeking to shut out the voice of the believer, right? Because I believe different. The first thing they go to, you judging me? No, I ain't judging you. I just don't agree with it. I'm entitled to believe what I believe as a believer, as a man of God. I'm entitled to hold on to the word of God, where it gives definitions of things. It's like he was, I think somebody used the word binary.
I was born this way. I was feeling this and I was feeling that. Our response to that is, so God got it right with me and wrong with you. So you're telling me God made a mistake is what you're telling me.
Right. And that doesn't happen. When God created man and woman from the man, that was it. Male, female. It wasn't no male, female binary. Whatever the other
transsexuals is what they call them now. When they in between, what is it? Transsexual.
Well, it's they have a whole bunch of we can do a whole show on all the genders and all of the sexualities and all that good stuff. Just leave it like
she,
this.
they, and all that.
You
I
are
We
don't.
need
there.
to do one
There's
because I
there are
need to
two
know.
terms you probably need to know. You probably need to know, hetero, homo, and then you have pansexual, and you have gender fluid. And that's where you get with the pronoun, the he, she, they, us, all of that. All of that is part of what's going on today. Now, some of us are traditional, and we say, "Hey, ain't but two genders,
Male and female.
male and female." There are some who are a little more progressive, and they say they're, you identify what you feel, not what you look like. And then there's other people who are just, they feel that they're the other gender trapped in another gender's body. That's called gender dysmorphia. When you
All right, now going on with the education.
when you feel when you say, you've probably heard it on TV or something. Somebody said, well, I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, or I'm a man trapped in a woman's body. That's gender dysmorphia, and it's more of a health issue than it is because it's like dyslexia, or not dyslexia. What's the one where you don't eat? The one
Well,
where you
y'all
heard
know I don't know about that one.
bulimia.
Anorexia.
It's like bulimia.
Bulimia.
It's what you see. You don't see what you are. You see what you think you're not. That's basically what it is.
Well, we
Okay.
appreciate that education on DFG, but all in all, in Genesis, God created a man and a female. See how
Anson
quick
got
that
his
edu-
hand up.
But hold on, before I pass it over to Anson, it said, and the man was created. It said he they. He said he they. He said he they. So it's in there. It's in. I want to say 1:22. I'm not. Don't quote me on that, but it's in there.
Hold on, what
What's
was
in
it?
there?
Let us create it in our image. But go on, Anson.
Our meaning the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Not our as in multiple, like
Right.
amorphous.
I understand what you're saying, but we understand, but people choose the Bible to do stuff anyway. Go on, Anson.
I was just gonna listen like I've been doing, but DFG, you said two things that really struck a chord with me. And about everything that's been discussed tonight, you said two words. Feeling was the main one, and think was the other. Both of those words don't effing matter. Because you can feel how you want to feel. You can think whatever the hell you want to think. But if you born with something hanging in between your legs, you a man. If you got a taco down there, you a woman.
Not the
All
taco.
right, come on.
Not the taco.
Is it a hard, a crunchy taco or a soft taco?
Look, some women got
Bruce, you got your
salami.
hand up. Is your hand up, Bruce?
Some women got
Yeah.
hoagie meat down there, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day.
Hey, open face roast beef sandwich.
You feel me? Something disgusting down there. Ugh. But
Lord have
anyway,
mercy. I
Go
done
like I
heard
said,
ahead,
that's a
y'all.
Anson.
whole
Go
nother
ahead,
topic.
Anson.
Well, like I was saying, the two words, feel and think, is the biggest problem with all this shit. Because you got people feel like they something and feel like they want something. Back to the main topic, the whole sassy thing. So you want to feel sassy. So you think it's okay for you to be sassy? No, just because you feel a certain way, don't mean you need to act that way.
Come
You know what I
on.
mean? So that
Preach.
all that feeling and think stuff, throw that shit out the window, man. Because that's what leads to endless discussions about nonsense.
Okay.
Okay,
I
can I
It is what
appreciate
respond
it
to what he
is.
just said?
you, May. Go right ahead.
Okay, so with him saying at the end of the day, the man's hanging and the woman have He called it taco, right?
Uh-huh.
And then when you think about it, you want to feel like you're a man, but at the end of the day, you can't shoot nothing in nobody and produce no babies. If you
Can't
a
go
man
swimming.
trying to be a woman, we have menstrual cycles. You're not going to have a cycle. You're not going to go through the things that we go through as a woman. So you're saying you feel that you're this and you feel that you're that, but you're not feeling the pains that the woman feel when we go through these menstrual cycles every month. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, your feelings doesn't make you that because you still don't have those parts. You can go to the doctor and they can create something, but it's not natural.
Exactly.
You're not gonna get the same real feeling that you get from a man.
Bo Peep,
So
she get $5 for that.
come on, give me my $5.
She get
She get
$5 for
five.
that there.
She get five. She get five. Look at here, cause that you get five too, because
You get 5 for that taco.
you know what I'm
You never heard
saying.
it.
I'm
That-
gonna
He
give
got 5 for
Anson 10.
taco.
10. I'm giving Anson personally 10.
Mm,
Yeah, I take it. I take it.
listen,
I accept it. And I thank you.
that,
mm.
that right there, that feeling, it don't really matter because when you have a literal feel, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter how a person feels. Is the way from me being a believer, I believe that hey, male, because he created male, and when he went to sleep from the rib, he created female, woman. That's it. Ain't no other way. You can feel how you want to feel, right? You got to take that up with God. You can't argue. Don't argue with me. You got to argue with God, right?
Because at the end of the day, you can feel and you can think whatever the hell you want to think. But reality is reality. Ain't nothing you can do about that. Feel however
Exactly.
you want to feel about the shit, but the shit happened, it happened.
Exactly. I think Bruce had his hand
Hey,
up, and
I'm about
then
to say Chocolate Pearl got a hand up too.
Yeah,
okay,
Bruce
Bruce,
had his
go
up,
ahead, Bruce, and
and then
then
Chocolate
Chocolate
Pearl.
Pearl.
I think that we from in my line of work, what we see is that there are people that are externally born men and internally have all female parts when they're born.
Explain, Bruce.
It's simple. We genetically we cannot control genetics. So genetics have their own logic. So I've seen it. There are women that have women parts externally, but internally they have nothing that you have. They're like a man. There are men, there are babies that are born that externally, like my brother said, I forgot what he said. It was funny. If they hanging, they're a man. But when they X-ray them, all their parts internally were women. All their parts. So we can and what the confusion comes when people are born genetically different, become in conflict with people that are born genetically correct. And like the brother said, because they feel they want to change something and be something that they're not, then you have a societal conflict and you can't tell and you don't know and you have no sympathy or empathy for those people that are born externally one way and internally another way and are literally have to go through life like that. You know, like you have like I remember I read a case where there was a guy externally he looked like a boy, like my brother said. Internally, when he for some reason he went to the hospital, they x-rayed him, he had all female parts. Now of course he went through whatever changes they did, but like my sister said, he could not have kids because even though his parts on the inside were female, parts on the outside weren't. And the issue that we have is that there are people that are genetically born anatomically correct. We have to be clear and understand that, and it's true, and be mindful, and I could care less. But when we're dealing with our kids, like my sister said earlier, you let your boys play with dolls when they little with dresses, and your boy is 5, and now he want to be a girl at 8, and his frontal lobe isn't even corrected. That's an issue for me. But there are people that are born with one part inside, the one part outside, the one part outside, another part inside.
So
Now,
Bruce.
back in the day, even biblically, they would kill them.
Mhm.
They didn't make it. They didn't make it biblically back then. They killed them. They said they fed them to the wolves, so you never saw them. And then those that grew up and had issues, they sent them out in the wilderness.
To the
So
pasture.
yeah, they
But
sent them out
this
to the
is
pasture.
my question, because I don't know, some of you might have heard this, some of you may have not. Like the superstar Sierra, they said that she was born a hermaphrodite. She had both sex, and her parents decided to allow her to continue to be a girl. I look at her and I still see her as a woman, but could you even picture her if they had chosen her to be a male instead of a female, because she was born with both sex? So they
Right.
say, I don't know.
Russell probably
And
was
she
still
may
married,
have, and she may have,
That's a
but you know what
woman.
they do. But you know what they do when that happens, and I can speak on this. When that happens, when the babies are born with both parts, they're gonna X-ray those babies and look at what are they anatomically. So she may have had a vagina and a penis, and they
Mhm.
decided to, because there was nothing else that said she was a man, to take the penis away and
Mhm.
correct, and the vagina stays, so she's still a woman.
Okay.
Because they won't let the parents say, if she's all female, let her be a man. They're not going to do that. They're going to
Gotcha.
be like, what do you want? We're going to take that off. They're going to take off the part that really is not functional.
Okay.
So that may have been true.
Don't know. I just heard it through the grapevine.
No, I'm not saying, but it may have been true. And there are people that are born like that.
All
Babies
them
are
children Russell don't put in her. That's a woman.
Hush
Say
your
what?
mouth.
What you
All
say?
them children Russell don't put up in her. That's a woman.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, brother. But externally, she may have been born anatomically with both parts, so they just took off the penis because there wasn't no testicles. Everything else was ovaries and so she didn't. It served no purpose. And she was a woman. She had kids. She had everything. Like Brittany Grimes can't have kids.
Hey, I got a
No.
question. Yes,
Because
chocolate
internally, she has no female parts.
Who is this?
Brittany
Chocolate.
Grimes.
Brittany Griner, the basketball player. She
Right.
had
Internally,
like she
she
had
has
a JJ. She
but
didn't
no
have
other.
she didn't
No.
have the uterus or
Right.
the actual cervix.
None of that.
Oh, okay.
So her
That's
parents decided, because outside of that, she kind of walks the line to allow her to be a girl.
Bruce, what
Now,
you over there chewing on, boy? Cause you sure making
Bruce
me
eating,
want to
man.
get
You
some
got
from
one more
my,
top
Sound
on.
my
like
damn
you
pantry,
some
bro.
nuts.
Whatever you got over there,
wait,
it's so damn good, brother.
I'm sorry, I'm eating ovaries.
You eat what? Okra.
Wait, Bruce,
He
I have a
said
question for you.
ovaries.
Ovaries, fried ovaries.
So Bruce, do you actually think those doctors are correct? Because sometimes women can have their clitoris hanging, which will look like a small penis.
No, these are
So
real penises, sisters. They looking at, some women have large no, these are penises. Like they are penises.
they
They
have
don't
the
do
two
it when they're
little
first born.
balls with them too.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll just have
They
the
right
penis,
next to each
but
other.
everything
Right.
else is female,
And it's not functional.
and it's not
Yeah,
functional.
one is
And
not functional. Yeah.
one is
So
not
y'all gonna
functional.
make me Google something. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
That's all
Google it.
I wanted to know.
Google it.
Yeah, Google
And
it.
if I'm
Google
right,
it.
I'm gonna need you to cash at me $10. Because I know I'm right.
How you over there chewing whatever you chewing? What's up?
Ovaries, fried ovaries. What you know about that?
You say ovaries, fried ovaries. I didn't know
Ovaries
they
are
could
fried
fry them and
okra.
eat them.
Okra.
He eating okra, child.
No, I'm eating
Listen,
popcorn. I'm eating
Fried
popcorn.
ovaries, fried eggs. Come on
listen.
now.
Yeah.
Listen.
Go ahead, chocolate pearl.
Them popcorn got all the salt, movie
I just
butter.
wanted to say,
You must have got them popcorn up.
Okay.
Well, we can't eat. We're not allowed to eat.
Hey, brother, you at home, do as you please, Bruce. We just glad to have you with us tonight.
Okay. Tawana has her hand up and Casey has her hand up. Go ahead, Tawana.
thank you. Hey, everybody. I agree with a lot of people what they were saying, and Bruce is so right there. At one time there was where people were born with two organs. One was not functioning and the other one was, and then the parent was the one who chose which one that they were going to allow their child to grow up to be. But the same factor with Anson has stated, if you were born with all of your parts intact, but your mindset said, I want to do something different than what my body, you still a man, you're still a woman at the end of the day.
Right.
So you're the one that's mentally changing it. And then you get upset when someone doesn't know what to call you because now everybody is this gender neutral or what have you. You were born a man, you a he. You were born a woman, you're a she. At the end of the day, if you decide that I don't care who you want to love. I don't care. But you were born a particular sex. Now, there are people, and there are a lot. Remember the conjoining twins. There's always birth defects that happens.
Right.
And then human nature changes it during that child's birth or going, as they grow. But if you was not born with a birth defect, you choosing to become or something else is your choice. It's not something that you were born with. So people should not be upset if I call you a he, if you look like a he, if you were born a he, if you were born a she and I call you a she. It's just the fact that you decide you want to change things. We are so sensitive in this world today that everything has to be what you want, and you can't say that, but I want you to say this, and you can't do this, but I want you to do that. At the end of the day, for generations and generations to come, you're still a he and you still a she, unless you have a genital a birth defect, as Bruce was stating. That's a birth defect. That's something that you could not do anything about once you had came out. Until you came out, you can correct it. But when you were born that way, you were born that way. And we have this problem with always having to have some type of label that we really don't need. You a he and you a she. At the end of the day, I don't care who you love. You can love who you want to.
Right.
It's just that you have to realize, if I was born a she and all my parts are intact and I don't have a birth defect, I am a she. At the end of the day, but I love the fact that and what Anson said, I love what he said. Bruce, I'm glad you brought up those factors, because there has been, and Lady T, I think it was Lady T or was it Kay, stated that they need to look it up. Promise you, you look that up, you will see that. And they're actually putting on Facebook a lot of birth defects from people before, where they use them into circuses now. Know, that back then they used them in circuses. They used them as freaks because they had a birth defect. But that wasn't something that you can control until you had the child. But you made that decision where you want that child to be. But people made those decisions based on God and not based on what they should just be. But
So,
you
Pearl,
changing your...
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying, do you think that those things can make a man sassy or spicy?
No, your personality make you sassy and spicy. Your genitals do not make you sassy or spicy. Your organs do not make you sassy or spicy. Your mindset does that.
Right.
Your mindset makes you, if you decide today you want to be Frankenstein, guess what? You could be Frankenstein because that's your mindset. But at the end of the day,
the women that has more testosterone, or the men that have more estrogen, you don't think that play a part in how they think or how they want to be viewed?
How do you know if you have more testosterone or not? You have to be tested, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, I guess they went to the doctors.
You have to be tested. So once you're tested and you realize that there's still a mindset. If they say the I can't pronounce it. Sorry about that. Thank you. Testosterone is an unbalance of your body. That is a birth defect. But if you're using it as an excuse, you see what I'm saying? It's just a mindset. To me, at the end of the day, it's a mindset. But if you want to act like a man, act like a man. But don't blame it on something that really does not that fault. It's your mindset.
Don't try to make
When
up
I grew
something
up,
to
when
justify.
a lot of us women, because we grew up around, if we had male friend, if we grew up around our brothers, we act like our brothers. But it's not saying that we want to be with a woman.
Right.
Am I right?
That's
And there are a
Leanne
lot
talking.
of, men who were raised around their sisters. They were the only man. But guess what? They was raised around it, but they know how to treat it. It's a mindset thing. It's a learning thing. It's something that you teach. You could be raised by raised around 6 sisters, and you're the only male, but you're the strongest man in that family because you know how to take care of that woman. So because you were raised around those women, doesn't mean that you're going to turn into a woman.
All right now. Well, thank you for that, Tawana.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Well, you don't eat them damn popcorn so hard, but I don't have to pop me some.
Hush now. Come on, Lady T. You got your hand up.
So done with LeBron. So my question is, with this transgender, binary, and all the other alphabets, how do you know? And I'm not being sarcastic, but let's say I'm in Target and I want to start up a conversation. What are the signals or the context clues to tell me to call you a he or she or they or them or whatever else you're supposed to say?
There isn't any. That's why it don't make no damn sense. Because
I
how
don't
am
think
I
they
supposed to
are.
walk up on you and know you want to be an it? That don't
I
make
don't think
sense.
He didn't
I call
say
everybody
it,
fam.
did
I say, "What's up, fam?" I leave it at that.
But why do we have
because
to
you have
figure
the
out
man
what we
with
need
the
to
beard.
call you? That's what I don't understand.
Say what?
But
Right.
here's my question. You have a man with a beard, but you're wearing extensions. Your makeup is beautiful. And you have fingernails that's whatever color. And you wearing manly clothes, but then it get to the feet and you got heels on.
You got
Lady T, you got some women out here in the beard game. I seen one beard man gone.
Look for that Adam's apple. Look for the Adam's
Wait,
apple.
hold on. Now, hey, sister, that having an Adam's apple, that's a myth. We assume that the difference between a man and a woman is an Adam's apple. You can't always see an Adam's apple. They
Correct.
proven it. That's not true. That's a myth.
Be that as it may, I have called men women, and I've called women men to their face and didn't know until they respond. So it is what it is.
Then you know.
It is what it is. You feel me?
It
So
is what it
if you
is.
walk around looking like a man, I say, "Hey, dude, don't get mad at me. If
Don't
you
get
look like a
mad at
dude,
me.
you look like a dude.
Right.
If you walk around with a perm like Snoop and you walk around looking all sassy, then don't get mad if I say hello, young lady. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, the reason why I'm asking is because occasionally we go out and I have very smart children with no filters. And when they see a boy, a man dressed like a female, they're quick to say, "What is that? A boy girl or a girl boy?" You know.
You say it's a boy dressing like a girl.
Well, you have to break it down to where they understand. But
Ladies, adults don't understand that.
Yeah, adults. I say at my office, adults don't get it. You know.
My husband say a boy dressing like a girl.
That's what I say. It's a boy dressing like a girl. A girl dressing like a boy. I'll say, I
That's
don't
the
know what the
easiest
hell
way
that is.
That's the easiest way.
And do
Y'all heard that? Hold on.
I'm tell my child the truth. I'm not gonna lie to my child to cover up for you.
Thank
Use
you.
a boy dressed
it's
up like a
not
girl, or
different.
use a
No,
girl
it's just
dressed up like a man.
Right.
I'm not saying you're confused. I'm not saying any of that. No, I'm not gonna have my child out there confused. I'm telling my child the truth. I ain't lying for you.
Right.
You see, and the key to that is to do it the right way and explain it to them. You know, don't just say it exactly how you feel. Like I can see somebody doing that with all kind of vitriol and hate. You know what I mean?
No, it ain't no vitriol and hate at all. It's just the truth.
But I'm saying people express themselves like that though.
Yeah, I mean, if it come across like that, then that's not the intent. But I'm not
Right,
finna
right.
give my child a bias of saying that it's something that I technically agree with. Okay, that's not the point. That's not the question they asked. They asked
Right.
what was it, and I told them what it was. That's like if they
Okay.
asked
But
what a
how they
dog. What's that? That's a dog, or
but how
that's a
they
cat,
understand it,
or that's a
that's
man, or that's a
but
girl.
how
It's
they
the same
understand it
thing.
is
Just
very
because the
important.
cat
You
got
know
on
what
a
I mean?
suit, don't mean it ain't a cat.
Hey, preacher
Right,
It's a
man.
right.
cat.
They got
It's
cat
okay.
food.
Hey, preacher man. Unless you at a Chinese food place, then you can't say that. You don't know what it is. You
I can
might
say
call
it.
that.
That
You
don't mean
might
I'm
call
not.
it chicken, but it might be dog. You don't know
Yeah,
it.
this is
It work if you ain't talking about
chicken
at
to
the
me.
Chinese food place.
She's funny.
Listen,
So,
lay off that Chinese. I think I'm part Chinese. I love it. Now stop it.
listen, me and my cousin went to Chinese food the other week. Them chicken wings were busting. That's all I'm getting. I ain't getting nothing. I don't eat nothing else no more. Just give me them chicken wings. So, doctor, what's the conclusion on that?
Yes.
On that being
Yes.
said, cuz we need to go back tomorrow.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, cousin, how you doing? Hey, Bruce, you see that I'm over here like you now, Bruce. And I
Yeah,
burnt my.
and I'm waiting for it to get in your bed so I can talk bad about you.
I got it out of there before you saw. I don't play that. Listen, people watching. Listen, we worldwide. People watching me. They wait for me to get popcorn in my beard, and I'm getting text messages to my. You ain't got to eat them popcorn like that. I'm doggish. Get out my business.
Okay, so listen, y'all, about the sassy thing. I think it's to each his own. I can't read the chat this evening because I said I lost my real glasses. I got on readers and I still can't see, but I'm perpetrating a fraud. So anywho,
Taking the
I
phone.
just
Yeah.
faking the phone, baby, faking the phone.
Papa.
But I just feel like whoever wants to be sassy, I guess it's up to them. And I'm sorry. I just feel like I my some women do prefer their better halves to be sassy. And I think I say, well, maybe they're just into this thing where they're role playing or swapping roles, gender roles, or whatever. But I can only speak for myself. I don't want a sassy man. I don't want a man looking in the mirror more than me. I don't want a man combing his hair more than me. You know, their lips more greased than mine. So I look
I
at
ain't
it
been have
like,
no dry lip now,
well,
doc.
you don't
Now,
have to have dry lips, but
I
I'm
draw
just
the
saying,
line. Now, I ain't been have no
I
chapped
don't
lip
want
now.
your lips to be
Walk
greasier
around no
than
white
mine.
mouth now.
Fabris, can I ask you a question?
You can do chapstick, not lip gloss.
Nah, I
Dr.
ain't doing
Fabris,
that
can
lip
I ask
gloss
you a
now.
question?
You may.
When you say sassy, are you saying it that they're like a metrosexual type thing where they're primping and prodding on to look good more than you, or is it that they've got a little feminine in them and
I'm going to say that they have a little feminine. I'll never forget. I took well, I didn't take. He came home with me for spring break, and my dad was a type person. He could analyze you and not say a word. He would sit there and look at you one good time, and he could give you the quick read. And he said when he went out into the car or something, my dad said, "Don't you bring that joker back here with you no more, cause he want to be in the mirror more than you, and that's not 100% right there. That's on suspect." So when he said that, women, we have that sensor on the inside that you think in certain things, but you really don't want to see it. You want to play it out to the end to really see. So I had that kind of feeling, but I was like, he was cute, y'all. He was so cute. And maybe that's the reason why I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna see. And when my dad gave me that 411 on who dropped kick who, I was like, oh no, oh no. But we're gonna go on to the next topic. The femininity of a woman. So,
Hold on. Before you go on, I wanted to say one
oh,
more
I'm
thing about
sorry. Go
Hanson got
ahead,
his hand
Anson.
up.
I ain't even see your hand. Go
it's
ahead.
all good. It's all good.
Uh-huh.
But no, one thing you said early on when we first started the sassy part, you were saying that you don't want a sassy man because you sassy yourself, right?
That's right. That's right.
So now piggybacking off of what Chocolate Pearl said, cleared up about what you define as sassy, and I understand you see it as being feminine. I get that, but as far as attitude goes, you know what I mean. You should be able to take whatever you dish out,
Mm-hmm.
just on a principle note. So if you are giving out too much sass, maybe you don't want sass in return. Maybe you should think of that as a problem. That's
So
all I'm
what you
saying.
saying? I'm sassy, so my partner gonna be sassy?
No,
Oh,
what I'm
both of us
saying,
can't be
no, no,
sassy.
no, no, no. What I'm saying is that just like they need to keep their sassiness under control, you need to keep your sassiness under control. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay then. All right then.
Hey,
All right. Well,
what? 1 second before you go, because I, I, I don't know if I'm gonna change the narrative, but I gotta put this in our minds because we're all adults here and we all have a spiritual side. So I read something in the chats where someone said it's not recognized by God. So I want to say it like this: not that I'm not preaching, I'm not the most holiest, and I know I sit amongst the sanctified sinners. So all of those that sit on the same pew with me.
I'm with you, brother.
I sit
Okay,
with you.
here.
I sit with you, Papa.
You better
So
preach, Papa Doc.
so here's how it go. You know, we all are children. We all are God's children, and no matter what we see in our eyes or what that person is, it's not our job to judge.
Right.
You know, you got to leave that to the judge, the one and only. He will take care of that particular person when their time comes. So we all are children, are God's children, and I kind of look at it that way. You know, maybe something happened to, because there's a lot of things that happen. We talk about birth defects and all of this stuff, and then you got to also recognize these children that have been touched. You
Right.
know,
Exactly.
and move that person into a different sexuality, been
Yep.
forced into a whole nother sexuality that they can't even control now that they reach a certain age. They can't be the man or the woman or the male or the female that they would like to be because somebody
Right.
touched them along the way
Right.
and it changes them.
Right.
Um, you know, I'm from a city, and I've seen where one generation to the next generation all turn out to be transgenders, and you say to yourself, now how did that happen? An uncle and two nephews became an aunt and two nieces, and I'm going to tell you, I mean, like fine, even though I know they men. But I'm looking at you find it in some of the women I've been out with, you know. So when you look at that, you got to also think about how that happened to them. Where
Right.
did that come from? Because so we like I said, we sit on this on this row and we judging. You can't do it because you don't know what road they came down and where they've been and what caused them to become that way.
Right.
So that's what I got to say. I'm
Well, Papa Doc, I have
my
a question. I have a question to your point, Papa Doc.
sure.
So, would you say that sexual preference is based off of feeling?
It could be, but like I say, if someone redirects you from the route you were supposed to be taking, you have no choice.
Right. Can I speak on
But
that?
you don't think that's still a mind thing and a choice
No.
that was made because
Can I speak on that?
Sure.
Who's asked to speak on it?
That's
Oh,
Bruce.
Bruce. Bruce, you
That's
finished
Bruce.
with your okra?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What I did child abuse and neglect investigations for 14 years. And there's a clinician I work with kids. And what the brother's saying is right. And it's not, if you have a child, let's say, I use a girl, if you have a girl that was raped, by a black man. And in that rape, she experienced both pain and pleasure. She came and she felt pain. There's a cognitive level of confusion that happens because every time she gets with a man, it's going to be very traumatic, and what feels good is going to feel bad. So she will then, as the brother said, she will lean towards something that looks nothing like her abuser, and that could only be a same-sex person. Now, because when people are sexually abused, they split. There's a literal split. They become two different personalities, and it's not like it's not a mindset. It's a cognitive impairment that happens. It's like I'm gonna close my eyes and drive in the dark. They literally split and become two different personalities. So when they're engaged in intimacy, because it's part of it is feeling, but then we're taught where you direct those feelings to. So when something comes in and misdirects that process, those kids have to go and realign towards and then gravitate towards now what I call predators and pedophiles, because they're confused and they don't don't ask, don't tell, nobody believes, they don't say nothing. But clearly, even today in my practice, it becomes a cognitive impairment, as the brother said, and they split. And it takes years of therapy to get them to understand what's happening with them. Why don't I like to be touched? And a lot of times it's displacement. So if a little boy becomes molested, to get rid of that feeling, he's gonna molest other little boys, like he's giving it away. Little girls will molest other little girls to displace that feeling. And like, so it's true what he says. So my sister, it's not a mindset. At that point, it becomes a mental health illness.
That goes to the term of hurt people, right?
Hurt people, yeah.
But to Papa Doc, what you said about the judgment, right? We can't judge because we don't have a place to put people in. But we are to stand on our principles, right? If we're believers or followers of God, like we have to stand on our principles. And even in Genesis, with Sodom and Gomorrah, where it was going to be destroyed, but those that weren't living like that, God showed mercy. You know what I'm saying? Abraham asked that question to God, like when he started with 50, like if it was 50, if it was 40, if it was 30, if it was 20, if it was 10, and he was talking about Lot and his family. Would they be spared? Those that weren't living like they were there. But so God cast his hand, and destroyed it, but he saved those that were not a part of the sinful ways of Sodom and Gomorrah. So we serve a merciful God, right? But even in serving a merciful God, we have to stand on our truth and stand on our faith, even if people are offended by what you believe, right? And I understand. I work with children too at a certain point in my life, Bruce. You're absolutely right. It becomes a mental health issue, and it stems from things that happen, like that are those things that are deeply rooted, right? So it does change, alters certain brain frequencies when people have been traumatized, from trauma.
Right.
So they start to respond to other people with pain, you know what I'm saying, with trauma. That trauma starts to be projected upon somebody else. So that's that mercy or grace that God gives. Hey, I understand what happened to you, right? He knows, right? However, when you make a conscious choice to live a certain way, like no matter how we put it, no matter how we word it, in 2024, sin is sin, and the wages of sin is still death. Follow my smoke and my praise. Let's go.
And that's true. But what the brother saying is correct. But it's and you said it without saying it. With all that you said, only God can judge. We have our opinions. We can stand on our faith. We can stand on our truths. but we have to stand on it in our own mirror. And like, I don't like it. It can't come in my house, but I ain't gonna judge you.
Well, I accept everybody welcome at my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a welcoming spirit, right? Because I believe that I am to be the change, right? You can be a certain kind of way, and when you come around me, I believe that my spirit, the spirit of God that I walk with, is so strong. Before you change me, I'll change you. I'm not afraid to go around people that are different. Some people are afraid to go around people, you know what I'm saying? But when you're confident in who you are and whose you are, it don't matter who you're around, right? Because you're not worried about those spirits jumping on you. They got to worry about the spirit of God jumping on them. That's just who I am. Like, I can talk all the mess. I play cards. I talk a whole lot of trash. But guess what? My objective every day, right, is to make somebody else better with the spirit that I walk in. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't do it in love, right, if you're not gonna feel, I can give correction. We're supposed to give correction. If it's given in love, it'll be received in love. It's all about that delivery, the intent. Intent of something, right? I ain't gonna tell you, man, you need to stop living like that. You messed up living like that. That ain't how you do it, right? Now people they gonna tense up. They won't even talk to you. But if you welcome them in, then people will open up and you can understand a person better. Oh, okay, this is why you live that way. Well, I understand what happened to you, but let me introduce you to this man named Jesus. Let me tell you a story. It's all about that delivery of how you treat people. That's all that is.
All right. Well, thank you. Lil Bo Pete. I'm going to find, where's DFG?
There you go.
Second part of our show. So DFG, introduce it, bring it in, and then I'll let you jump in, Casey. But I'm gonna let him bring on that second part right quick. And Casey's hand is up, so don't forget Casey, DFG.
I got you, Doc. Hey, this is the DFG in the place to be, on the ones, the twos, and the threes. My part of this show is going to be pretty quick, but in 2024, what's femininity these days? We just had a whole talk about intersex, sassiness, all of that good stuff. I put some pictures in the chat if you want to look, and it gives examples of what's out there. Now, the first picture I sent was, I don't know if it was a guy or gal with a black looking get up, look like Magic Johnson's son. If you can put a 1, is that feminine, or 2? 1 yes, 2 no. But I did. Go ahead, Casey. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. I didn't forget about you. Go ahead, Casey.
I don't even see it. Oh, I see you. Go ahead, Casey.
Well, I don't know if I kind of want to go back now because I got kind of touchy for a moment. But when Lil Bo Peep was talking, you know, a lot of people don't know this about me because I've never expressed it really. My husband, outside of my husband and my mom, you know, nobody really knows what happened to me as a child. I was raped when I was 16. So for me, that's why I say, is it more so of a mindset or a choice that you choose to make? Because I grew up in the church. I was taught certain things, right? So even though that happened to me, sometimes, even with my husband, I've had to let him know before certain things that I don't like, right? That doesn't mean I can use that as an excuse to go be with a woman because I don't like being pinned down or certain things. You see what I'm saying? So when Lil Bo Peep said, at the end of the day, if we have morals, ethics, all these things that we stand on, you know, that's why I said, is it more so? He said it can become a mental disorder and all of this stuff. That goes to show your weakness, how strong you are. All those things play a part in what you choose to do, right? You can choose to let a situation make you or break you. Which choice are you going to take? Just because everybody go through things in life, it may not necessarily be abuse, domestic violence, rape, all of this stuff. But are you going to let it make you? Or are you going to let it break you? That's still a choice that you have to make. How strong are you? Where does your strength lie? Are you going to let this person take your strength from you? So that's just my whole thing, you know, with everything that Lil Bo Peep said. At the end of the day, I think it's based on your morals, your values, what you believe in. Everybody has a choice to choose who they want to be with, what life they want to live. That's just what it is.
Hey Casey, thank you so much for sharing your story and being willing to open up. You know, in Romans, it says that we overcome by the words of our testimony, by the blood of the Lamb, and by the words of our testimony, right? And my pastor always says there are no secret testimonies. You being willing to open up, you never know who's going to look at this show and hear how you've overcome or overcame what you had to deal with. So, you know, I hear your strength, you know, I hear God when you speak, and I hear your faith. And I just want to tell you, you know, keep being you, keep believing, keep pressing and keep praising, man. And you know what I'm saying? Like I feel for you that you yet to see the goodness that awaits you.
Oh,
Stay in your faith.
I've already seen it, and I vowed and
Oh,
told the
you're
Lord,
gonna see more. You're gonna see more.
hey,
You're
you
gonna see more.
use me, God, because I know who I am and I know whose I am, and I know everybody go through trials, tribulations, and things in life. But like I said, it determines what makes the difference. Are you gonna let it make you, or are you gonna let it break you? You have a choice to make. At the end of the day, you know, we have to move on. So if you want to live in fear for your whole life, then live in fear. If you want to change who you are because of what somebody done to you, then that's another thing as well. You see, that's a choice that you choose to make. You chose to allow that person to dictate who you're going to be as a person.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Casey. I
You
appreciate
And
that.
that was pretty intense. But you know, may you get the full healing and full blessings that you overcame, because we do, like Bo Pete said, we do overcome by the word and by our testimony, by the blood and by the word of our testimonies. So being an overcomer is kind of being within the faith. Now let's what I want to talk about immediately is femininity. And in 2024, are women, especially younger women, is femininity a part of their makeup? You know, there are certain things that we consider masculine, certain things that we consider feminine, and that those are you know, pretty much not in stone, but I call them in jello. Forgive me.
Not the jello.
Well, because it's not firm. It's not solid.
Okay.
It's not solid. If a man wears pink, is he feminine?
Feel
No,
me and wear
the
pink.
man in pink.
If a woman wears pants with a zipper and pockets, is she masculine?
Okay, we
You
got
see what I'm saying? So it's not. It's no cut and dry answer. Go ahead, Anson.
So I would say that they have to have at least some semblance of femininity displayed to get any man. At least that's the way we should look at it. So yes, they would have to still have femininity
Yes.
just to survive in this world.
Right,
You know
and
what I mean?
it's a spectrum, but you know, one of the things that you see today, when a lot of young ladies are like, I don't need no man. What exactly does that mean? That means that, go ahead, Miss Cornbread.
Can I answer that real quick?
Go ahead, answer then, Miss Cornbread. Go ahead.
What I think that means is that us as men allow that to happen
I agree.
because they, you know, to display masculine tendencies is allowed. And it's going to
Yes,
be allowed with whoever they choose to be with, because that's
because
who they are.
hey, we want to get it. We want to get some sloppy toppy, and we want to get some. Want to
And
get
the
some
shivering is
crispy
there.
and soft taco. Go ahead, Miss Cornbread. Miss Cornbread Fred.
Good evening.
Good
Hey there.
evening.
Yeah, so I want to tap in on the masculinity and feminine, on the woman's side because I get a lot that I show. I have a masculine side, and I feel that I am so feminine for the right person. You know what I'm saying? I feel that a man brings that out of you. You know what I'm saying? I feel that if a woman is in her soft girl era, that's because a man put her there. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that a woman might go through in her life that puts her in a position that she has to be like that. She has to exude this masculinity because she is in that era. You know what I'm saying? That's where
Okay,
her
okay.
life. Mhm.
No, go continue. I'm sorry. I'm
Survival
sorry.
mode, exactly. So if a woman has from 16 to 30 had to be in survival mode, working all her life, and no one's fault, we're not blaming anyone, but I'm just saying, if that's all she knows, when she meets a man and they are exuding the same energy or exuding the same masculinity as far as ethnic, as far as work ethnic, as far as how she thinks going about her priorities or things like that to that nature. Survival mode, I seen someone say in the comments. I feel like how do you how do you how do you tell the difference? How do you change that for yourself? If a man can't take it out of you, how do you take that away from yourself?
Okay. That's a little complicated question, but I think I'm going to try to answer it as best as I can. Saying that you're in survival mode is basically saying that men aren't in survival mode. Because what exactly does survival mode mean? It means you got to get for yourself, right? I mean, unless I'm wrong, you got to get for yourself. You got to do for yourself. You got to handle your own business. Men got to do that every day. Every day. We just call it being an adult. Now, saying that is not to downplay what you're saying, because I agree, when there's not a intact and healthy relationship at home with the parents, you get taught differently than if you did. If you had your parents, your mother's gonna raise you, and your father's gonna spoil you. As if you're a woman, if you're a man, your father's gonna raise you, and your mother's gonna spoil you. So you get that best of both worlds. So you're not in survival mode, and they put in expectations that, yes, I'm going to do this because this is what is expected of me. Whether you're a woman or a man, that's you expect to become adults, because you're supposed to cleave from your parents and cleave to your husband. A lot of it in today's society, that don't happen. That don't happen. People, they got this thing called 304 phase. If anybody's not familiar with that, y'all know, if y'all been in college, I think 90% of us in here been in college.
I left.
And we know when you in college,
I don't know.
oh, Lady T, you off the chain anyway, but I love you.
But
I'm serious.
anyway,
I don't know.
but a lot of times we are away from our parents, and we have to experience life, and that's where we start making those choices. Now, some of us make better choices than others, but the thing is, though, for you to say that I got to bring you out of your survival mode is saying that I don't know how you got into that mode to get you out. Because I could be doing everything I can to make sure that you're taken care of, and you're like, well, it's not enough.
Well, I'm not
So
saying that a has to take
yeah,
care.
no, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying
Bring
that it's one of those things.
He might just bring it up.
Yeah, it's a tricky question, but there's no easy, well written answer to tie it up and have people say, okay, yeah, that's it. Go ahead, Anson. Anson?
I think to answer the question is that you don't until you do find that dude that you want to be not be in survival mode with. I understand survival mode. We all like DFG said, we as men go through that most of our lives. So I understand survival mode, and I do understand what you're saying about as a man that you deem worthy to be feminine with. That's highly understandable. And that's basically what I was saying earlier. Like every woman has it in them. It's all about the dude they want to be that with.
It's kind of like DFG. I think it's cornbread. What was that last question you asked when you first started talking? You muted. You on mute.
Cornbread. Can you hear us?
What was that?
She's not on mute anymore. She's about to say something. Go ahead, Cornbread.
I was saying, as far as how do you distinguish whether it, when you were saying, we were talking about masculinity in women, and I was saying a lot of people have told me that I'm a little masculine when it comes to dating or dealing with a man. So I think I'm so feminine, and like I said, a right person might bring that out of you. But what I was saying, how can you tell between the two if this is something that, a little love might take that out of her? You know what I'm saying? Just a little tender love and care might take that away. Maybe that's not what she's. I'm sorry, my phone is ringing.
No. We got you. We hear you loud and clear. I think Bruce wants to respond. Go ahead, Bruce.
Hold on, Bruce. I think when you the way you put it about the survival mode. I think a lot of women are in survival mode, and DFG made a great point of like you never know how a person got to that. Some young girls are raised like, hey, you don't need no man. You know what I'm saying? They didn't see their mama married, maybe they didn't have that family dynamic, and they just saw their mama just kind of surviving. So maybe you get to a point or age, and then it's like, okay, bam, that's what I've been groomed to do. So I'm gonna survive. I don't need no man. And then it's kind of like on the opposite side when a woman says, I want a man to come to me and have A, B, C, and D, right? They have a whole list of what they want from a man. But then when a man goes to a woman, we want a woman in that soft girl era already. I don't feel it's a man's job to put a woman in her soft girl era or her feminine era. She should already be there. Just like, a woman would feel like, well, a man should already have this. He should already be established. Well, a part of being established is more than just financially. A person should be established mentally, emotionally, socially. It's more than one way to be established, right? But people are different with different people. If you like hardcore, maybe it is a man that can love you, and you're like, you know what? I don't even feel that need to have my guard up. I can let my guard down with this man. I feel safe. I feel safe with him, so I don't have to be this way. Maybe what I've had to do the majority of my life, I no longer have to do with this man, because I do believe that certain men can bring things out of certain women, just like certain women can bring out the best in certain men. You may be horrible for one woman, but then that man get with the next woman, and he's amazing, and vice versa. So I think it just boils down to that having that right person that can deal, that accepts the person for who they are, and that's willing to take that journey of change with you.
All
But there you
right.
go.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Lil Bo
Dr.
Peep.
Bob,
I
let
know
me
Bruce
jump
wanted
in.
to say something. I know
Let me
Lady
jump
T
in.
wanted to say something, but the clock on the wall is saying it's all. And I love and appreciate each and every one of you for coming on, joining us. Bruce, please come back next week and eat some more ovaries and all that good stuff, you know. And we will start with you next week, Bruce, because the clock on the wall is telling me it's all, and it's 10:08, and we are normally out of here at 10. So to everyone, thank you so much for coming. Don't let this be your last time. We'll be in the same place, same time next week, and we'll pick up right there with Bruce and all that juice. And I'm going to say good night. I'm not even going to let my panel say good night. Yeah, y'all can say good night. Just wave and say good night. And I'm going to say smooches to each and every one of you, and good night until next week, Thursday. Mwah. Good night.
Buenos noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Yeah.